What's going on YouTube? It is feast week in college basketball. It's one of the best times of the year, and the two biggest early season tournaments are almost here. Battle for Atlantis and the Maui Invitational. So it's time to make predictions. So we're starting with the Battle for Atlantis. Gonzaga is probably the favorite in this, but you've also got really good teams like Indiana and Arizona. So we're gonna start. I think Indiana beats Louisville pretty easily. Louisville with a new coach and a ton of new transfers. I think they're talented enough to make the tournament, but they're gonna probably need some time to get it together. They lost to Tennessee by 22, and hopefully Louisville can get it together. And then Gonzaga over West Virginia pretty easily. I'm not sure if Bryce Hopkins is playing, but let's just say he does, and we'll take Providence. And then this quality is horrible, but we'll also take Arizona over Davidson pretty easily, hopefully. So that's the first round. Now we'll go over here. Louisville, West Virginia. I'll take Louisville. I think Louisville has potential to be a tournament team. West Virginia, I'm not so sure. And then Oklahoma over Davidson. That's mostly a guess, but I think Oklahoma might be a little better. And now, maybe the biggest game of the tournament, Indiana Gonzaga. It's actually an interesting matchup. Both teams run a Twin Towers lineup. Indiana runs Renew and Ballo, and Gonzaga runs Ben Gregg and Graham Ike. So it's an interesting matchup. I think Gonzaga wins a close one. Potentially the most entertaining game of the tournament. And then Arizona, Bryce Hopkins or not, should beat Providence. For the 7th place game, West Virginia Davidson, I think West Virginia wins that. Tugger DeVries is a great player. So Davidson 8th place, West Virginia 7th place. And for the 5th place game, Louisville, Oklahoma. Again, I'm not sure if Oklahoma's a tournament team. I think Louisville is talented enough to be one. So I'm taking Oklahoma 6th, Louisville 5th. Indiana, Providence. Indiana is a really good team. Providence, with Bryce Hopkins back, eventually they could get better, but for now, I don't think they beat Indiana. Now for the championship game, Gonzaga versus Arizona. Tommy Lloyd against his former team. I think the crowd would be electric if this was the championship. Gonzaga has a lot of size, but Arizona is a pretty good rebounding team. The reason I'm taking Arizona to win is because these games, it's 3 days in a row, every day has a game. So the day before this game, Gonzaga's going to have to play Indiana, and that's going to maybe be the most entertaining game of the tournament, and probably could be the closest game. And Arizona gets a little more comfortable win against Providence. So going into this game, Gonzaga is going to be the more exhausted team. So that's why I think Arizona wins the battle for Atlantis. Now to the Maui Invitational, where we have 4 top 10 ranked teams. It's going to hopefully be insane. So I think UConn beats Memphis, Michigan State beats Colorado. Hopefully those two are pretty easy. Even though Memphis is a good team, I'm not sure if they give UConn a challenge. We have a top 5 matchup in the first round. Number 4 Auburn against number 5 Iowa State. That's insane. It's going to be a close one down the stretch. I'm curious how Iowa State guards Jonai Broome. And I'm going to take Auburn in that one. And then I'm taking North Carolina over Dayton, hopefully pretty easily. I'm taking Memphis over Colorado. Memphis is a good team. I'm not sure if Colorado is a tournament team. And Iowa State should hopefully be able to bounce back against Dayton. And then Michigan State's an interesting team because they have a combination of size and also spacing. They start 2 7-footers who can shoot the 3. That's rare, but I think UConn beats Michigan State. And then another big one, Auburn, North Carolina. I'm taking North Carolina because Auburn's front court defense is really good. I'm not as sure about their backcourt defense, and a lot of North Carolina's offense comes from their backcourt. For 7th place, I think Dayton beats Colorado. I think Dayton is the tournament team. And for 5th place, Iowa State is really good for 5th place, but I think they get 5th place over Memphis. I think Auburn gets 3rd place over Michigan State. And I think UConn wins the tournament over North Carolina. I'm using the same logic as I did for Maui, because North Carolina is going to be exhausted after going through Auburn, while UConn's going to get a more comfortable win over Michigan State. So that's the order: UConn, North Carolina, Auburn, Michigan State, Iowa State, Memphis, Dayton, Colorado. So those are my predictions for Battle for Atlantis and Maui Invitational. Hopefully they're as entertaining as advertised, and I'll see you next time.